Hi friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about some of my plans and things on my TBR for the month of October. How are we in October? Well, we're not. I've still got a little bit of September left, but how? We're already at October. So September has passed me by. I am back from my amazing trip to Japan. It's over. I will talk about it in my September wrap up, but back to reality. But October is shaping up to be a great looking month. So in terms of my plans and things, I have a wedding that I'm going to for my friend Joanna in Portugal. She used to have a channel, she's still active on Instagram though, so I'll link her Instagram, but she's getting married in a couple of weeks as of filming this. So heading over to the Algarve for that. Then it is my partner's birthday on the 12th of October. So that weekend I'll be taking him out for a lovely meal, which I have already booked. So looking forward to that. My bank account isn't, but my stomach is. And I think that's about it. I've got some work, evenings, trade shows, bits and pieces going on. So a bit calmer, but that's probably needed after how busy and hectic the rest of my summer has been. So the TBR, which as unrealistic as always, let's just dive on in. So I feel as though there have been so many new releases and things that have been coming out, just not getting to them. But we'll see what we can do with both managing new releases, series and the TBR. So a recent new release that has arrived on my doorstep. Actually, this arrived, side tangent, this was meant to arrive on the, 25th of August. It was meant to arrive on a Tuesday, the day before I left for 3 weeks to Japan. It did not arrive that day. It decided to arrive on the Wednesday after I had left. And so my kind neighbours have very kindly looked after this book for me for 3 weeks until I got back. So very appreciative of that it has survived a 3-week holiday in their home and not in mine. And that is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang, the Waterstones special edition, which has these lovely edges on it. I'd contacted Waterstones, I'd upgraded it to first class postage. No, nothing could be done to get this book to me on time. But I'm very much looking forward to reading this. I don't feel like I've seen loads of reviews on it as yet, but it is following main character Alice Lowe, who is a graduate student. I believe she's at Cambridge, along with her biggest rival, Peter Murdoch. They are going into hell to find I think it's their old professor, to make their dreams come true. But hell is not as a philosopher claims. Its rules are upside down, and if she's going to get out of there alive, she and Peter will have to work together. That is if they can agree on anything. Will they triumph or kill each other trying? And I think there's a romance. I don't know why I said that so weirdly. A romance between Alice and Peter. It's probably going to have R.F. Kuang's commentary on the academic environment and looking at hell. I wonder, as there's a Catabasis, there'll be is it Anabasis, which is when you go up from hell, the opposite of the Catabasis. I'm excited to get into this. Yeah, excited. And then another October release which I have in my hand is The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri. This is her newest release. It's a standalone. It is following a witch and a knight, and it is set in a world, Britain is fueled by stories, and in that the witch and the knight are fated to fall in love and kill each other in every single lifetime. And we're following the next reiteration of this tale, following Simran, who is the witch, and Vina, who is the knight, and whether they are going to be able to break this cycle and what they will be able to do to rewrite their story. I did start this one, but I've got distracted. So I haven't kept going as yet. And what I've got distracted by is Manacled by Selena New, and that is the next one that I'm going to talk about, is Alchemized. So Alchemized is the traditionally published reworking of Manacled, which is Manacled is a Hermione Draco fanfiction, which I've stumbled my way into. And this Alchemized is that, but made into a unique and original story. So I have got that one pre-ordered. It comes out next week as of filming this, but as of going up, it will be out. And considering how much I'm enjoying Manacled, I think I'm definitely going to be keen to read Alchemized. It's massive, but I think I'm flying through Manacled. So it is a standalone dark tale, and the magic system within Alchemized is centered around elementalists and necromancers, I think, the good and the bad, or alchemy and necromancers. And we're following a character that is past the end of the war, and our female main character has been locked up for many years, but she will be coming out and is going to end up in the hands of her enemy. And I imagine it's going to be quite a dark tale, because Manacled has been quite a dark tale. So that one, and the final new release that I have on my radar of getting to is Thief of Night by Holly Black, which is the sequel to Book of Night and the finale to that duology. So that comes out at the end of September. I don't anticipate I'll get to it before the end of September. So I'd like to wrap up that duology. I found the first book quite fun. We're following Charlie Hall, and it's like a variation of our world, but there's magic and shadows. And I'm definitely intrigued to see where the sequel goes and what happens with Charlie Hall. She wasn't the most likeable character, but she was definitely intriguing to follow. So that is the new releases that I wanted to talk about. Otherwise, some finales and bits and pieces that I would like to get to, ideally, and some things from my actual physical TBR. I would like to close out the Nightshade Crown trilogy by reading The Nightshade God. This is the third and final book. I've had it for a little while now. Would like to get to this, just wrap it all up. This is by Hannah Witten. We're following a main character, Law. Is she called Law? Yeah. We're following a main character, Law, who has death magic. And in the first book, instead of being put to death and this is discovered, she gets taken in by the crown, and the king decides that she is going to infiltrate society because he wants to use her powers, and also for her to investigate what's going on with his son. You explore the gods within the world, and yeah, definitely intrigued to see how this is all going to wrap up. And I wonder if Law is ever going to take a bath, or a shower, well, she's not going to shower, but a bath, because she has spent the first two books going out and fighting and getting bloody and dirty and messy, and then going to a ball, and she still hasn't had a bath. And I'm just worried about her cleanliness. Then one that I also have had sat on my shelf as well is A Grave Robbery by Deanna Raybourn, which is the 9th book in the Veronica Speedwell series. I'd like to I feel like this could just slip in, just ease in to the mix. It's quite short, as all of these have been. I read the first 8 books within this last year, and then I got this one for my birthday back in July, and I just haven't quite picked it up yet. And I just feel like it'd just be a fun time to be back with Veronica and Stoker, and a little mystery, just a change of pace, just explore a Victorian mystery setting and the potential romance between Veronica and Stoker and the things that have been going on in their world. Then I have started my reread of the Truth Witch series by reading Truth Witch. I've done that. And now I need to continue my reread by getting to Wind Witch, which is the 2nd book. The 5th and final book in the series is coming out in November. I'm not going to catch up by then. It's not going to happen, but I can at least get to Wind Witch. I flew through Truth Witch. This is a fantasy story. We're following 2 main characters, Isolde and Safi. They have quite differing magical powers, and in the first book, Safi, who is the Truth Witch, is quite heavily sought after because a Truth Witch is a very rare magic. It's not been seen in hundreds of years, and lots of the political powers at play want her to control her. And she's kept this power hidden for so long throughout her whole life, but it's still started to come out. And they're coming in the world is coming to the end of a 20-year truce that's gone on between all these countries, and there's potential that the war is going to be restarting with Safi and Isolde right in the middle of it all. So excited to continue on. And then a couple of other things. Oh, another one that I don't own physically is Lady of Starfire, which is the 5th and final book in the Lady of Darkness series. So I would like to wrap that one up. It is a fantasy romance story following a main character, Scarlet, who is an assassin. It's very much heavily inspired by Throne of Glass and other works by Sarah J Maas, but I've had a great time with it in the main. It's not been yeah, it's been like a 4-star series. So excited to see how that all wraps up and concludes, because I've heard absolutely amazing things about the companion series to it, or the series that's set within the same world. And then just other unrealistic things is I would love to continue on with the Paladin's Grace series. So I have Paladin's Strength. This book came with me to Japan. I didn't read it, but the intentions were there. Yeah, this is like a fun romantic fantasy story where the romance is just at the forefront, but it's still an interesting fantasy world, and T. Kingfisher is just great. We're following different paladins whose the god that they worshipped has died, killed, whatever. And in the first book, we follow the relationship between Stefan and Grace, and Stefan is coming to terms with his god dying, and Grace is a perfumer, and there's a whole like mystery at play. And in this one we're going to be following, I think, one of the side characters from that, and the romance, the cozy fantasy romance that he is going to experience. And finally, The Jasmine Throne. It's ridiculous, but I would like to reread The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri so that I can continue on with the series and wrap it up, because I intended to do that last year, and that was 2025, and now I'm wondering if I'm actually going to be able to do this in 2025, and it's going to be a 2026 thing. But this is a fantasy series inspired by I think Indian folklore, and we're following Priya and Milani. Milani is the princess that's been locked up in the tower, and Priya is her maidservant. It's got this really interesting magic system where people are turning into trees, or trees' roots are growing out of them. A world beset by wild magic. I had such a great time with this, and I've forgotten so many things, so I need to reread, but time. And then you end up doing something completely random, like reading Manacled, and throwing everything out the window. Anyway, those are some ideas of things that I would like to read and get up to in October. Let me know what you're planning to read in October, and if you have any exciting plans coming up. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye!